Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. It's tough to score this fight when your choices are boring or more boring. Of course, I joke kinda, but after watching Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, this was a far cry from that. I want you to forget the highlight reels and let's talk about the actual scoring of Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. I'm going round by round using real judging criteria to show you who really won, Ryan Garcia or Rolly Romero. And a big thank you to Turkey Al Sheikh and the Ring magazine, which he now is the steward of. Without them, this in-depth analysis would not be possible. Definitely subscribe to me, and after that, definitely subscribe to them. Want a full breakdown of how I judge each round? I've laid it all out on this screen. Pause if you're a detail junkie. I'm not reading it.
Round 1. Clean punching. Not a whole lot to talk about here. As you can see on the screen, 5 clean punches landed by Rolly Romero in round 1 and 6 clean punches landed by Ryan Garcia. In scoring clean punching, that makes it 9 points to 8 in favor of Ryan Garcia. Effective aggression. There was very little aggression in this round. Rolly Romero was aggressively feinting with a duck and a weave in a few spots and came forward with a few seconds left in the round. That's it. Ryan Garcia was mildly aggressive a few times when trying to close distance to land, but was largely ineffective as Rolly Romero moved away. In scoring effective aggression, I gave it 9 points to 8 in favor of Rolly Romero. I couldn't give 10 points to either guy. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero controlled both action and tone. He didn't want either he or Ryan Garcia to throw much, and that's what happened. Rolly Romero moved and had a stern look and presence to keep Ryan Garcia from closing distance confidently, and it was clear that Rolly Romero was in command of when action would and would not happen, while Ryan Garcia was looking for openings, but clearly very cautious about really going for them. In scoring ring generalship, 10 points to 8, quite a chasm in favor of Rolly Romero. Let's talk defense. And you can see on your screen here all of the defensive moves done by either fighter. Ryan Garcia doing a lot more defensively than Rolly Romero, who was more on the front foot in this round. So if we score all of the different categories of defense, we have 10 points to 8 in favor of high guard blocking for Ryan Garcia, 7 points to both men who did not duck, 10 points to 7 in favor of Rolly Romero for bobbing and weaving. Parrying, neither man did that, so 7 points to each there. Blocking, 10 points to 8 in favor of Ryan Garcia, and footwork, 10 points to 9 in favor of Ryan Garcia, who edges out a slightly busier defensive round in round 1. Taking all 4 categories together, my algorithm gives out 8.733 points to Rolly Romero and 8.357 points to Ryan Garcia, normalizing to the 10-point must system, 10-9 Rolly Romero. And as we progress through this fight, I'm going to show you the running score after each round and how my score compares to the 3 judges at ringside. Again, I gave this round 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. Judge at ringside, Tony Paolillo, gave it 10-9 to Ryan Garcia. Judge Waleska Roldan gave it 10-9 to Rolly Romero. And Judge Tom Schreck gave it 10-9 to Ryan Garcia. Round 2. Clean punching. In this round, Rolly Romero outdoes Ryan Garcia by quite a lot, even though he'd only landed 11 punches. Ryan Garcia landed a measly 3 in this round, and you can see what they were on your screen here. That being said, scoring clean punching, 10 points to 7 in favor of Rolly Romero, who outscored Ryan Garcia by more than triple the number of clean-landed punches. Effective aggression. At 2:46 on the clock, a knockdown! In this round, Rolly Romero had a knockdown, threw Garcia to the floor, and pushed him back to the ropes in the clinch. Much of nothing in between, but a few moments of effective aggression, including Ryan Garcia's beginning to move Rolly Romero back toward the end of the round. So in scoring effective aggression, 10-8 in favor of Rolly Romero. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero stayed just out of range, holding Ryan Garcia to very few landed punches, turned on the aggressive counterpunch knockdown when he needed, and continued to land clean punches here and there while preventing Ryan Garcia from landing most of his attempts. Ryan Garcia did not stop looking for the openings after the knockdown, but they rarely materialized. So in scoring ring generalship, 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. Let's talk defense, and a whole lot of defense going on for Ryan Garcia. As you can see on your screen, mostly high guard blocking. Rolly Romero with a fair amount of defense himself, just not as much as Garcia because he was doing more offensively in this round. And as we take a look at the different categories of defense, 10-8 for the high guard in favor of Ryan Garcia, 8 points to each man for ducking, 10-7 in favor of Rolly Romero for bobbing and weaving, 8-7 for parrying in favor of Rolly Romero, 8-8 for both men for blocking, footwork, 10 points to both fighters, and clinching 8-7 in favor of Rolly Romero. Taking all 4 categories together, the algorithm spits out a huge disparity of 9.714 points for Rolly Romero to 7.962 points for Ryan Garcia. And then when we include that knockdown, of course, on the 10-point must system, 10-8 in favor of Rolly Romero. And as we take another look at that running score, of course, all judges gave this round 10-8 to Rolly Romero because of the knockdown. I have the fight 2017. Judge Paolillo has it 19-18 in favor of Rolly Romero. Judge Waleska Roldan has it 2017 in favor of Rolly Romero. And Judge Tom Schreck has it 19-18 in favor of Rolly Romero. And for those who are interested, even though a running total total of punches doesn't count for anything in scoring rounds, it might be interesting to you. So after the 11-3 disparity in clean punches landed, we are now at 16 punches landed for Rolly Romero in the fight to 9 for Ryan Garcia. Round 3. Clean punching. Again, just a lack of punching by both men, but Rolly Romero does land 8 punches, and you can see what they all are here, to Ryan Garcia's 2 punches in round 3. And for that reason, the clean punching score, again, 10-7 in favor of Rolly Romero, who landed more than triple the number of clean punches. Effective aggression. A bull rush to the ropes at 2:05, a hard clinch at 28 seconds. Other than that, Rolly Romero was the one moving forward and moving Ryan Garcia back for almost the full round. His attacks were infrequent but fast and aggressive when they came, after using range-finding punches to keep Ryan Garcia from knowing when the attacks were coming. Ryan Garcia was kept almost entirely at bay and had almost no aggression to speak of. So in scoring effective aggression, I gave 9 points for aggressiveness and 10 in effectiveness to Rolly Romero, 8 points in each of those categories to Ryan Garcia. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero totally controlled the action with feints, aggressive punches here and there, evasive defense, and range-finding punches that made it almost impossible for Ryan Garcia to time any kind of offense. Whether Ryan Garcia was so cautious because he was afraid of being dropped again is a matter of opinion, but the facts are that he was barely able to get off at all. So in scoring ring generalship, 10 points to 8 in favor of Rolly Romero. Let's talk defense. And again, we see the same kind of pattern. A lot of defense by Ryan Garcia, who's moving and staying away more, and less defense from Rolly Romero, who's doing more of the offensive maneuvering in this fight. You can see what all of those moves were and when they happened here on your screen. So if we take all of the defensive categories together, 10 points to 8 for the high guard for Ryan Garcia, 8 points to 7 to Rolly Romero for ducking, bobbing and weaving 10-7 Romero, parrying 9 to 8 for Ryan Garcia, blocking 10 to 8 for Ryan Garcia, footwork 10 to 8 for Ryan Garcia, and clinching 8 points to each fighter. A slightly better defensive round for Ryan Garcia, but when we take all 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm gives 9.524 points to Rolly Romero and only 7.843 points to Ryan Garcia, a clear 10-9 round for Rolly Romero. And if we take a look at the running score once again, we'll see something interesting. So I have the fight now a shutout 30-26 Rolly Romero. Judge Paolillo has it 29-27 Romero after giving that round to Rolly Romero. Judge Waleska Roldan also gave the round to Rolly Romero 10-9 and has it 30-26 as I do. And then Tom Schreck somehow gave that round to Ryan Garcia 10-9 and has the fight a draw 28-28. Again, the running landed punches has increased for Rolly Romero. 24 clean landed punches for Rolly Romero to 11 in this fight for Ryan Garcia thus far. Round 4. In round 4, 6 clean landed punches for Ryan Garcia and 3 for Rolly Romero. Again, just a lack of punching from both guys, but Garcia does land twice as many punches. 10-8 for clean punching in favor of Ryan Garcia. Effective aggression. Rolly Romero again is using many rangefinders to keep Ryan Garcia thinking and cautious without throwing much at all with commitment. Rolly Romero was composed and happy to reduce Ryan Garcia's aggression rather than initiate much of his own. Ryan Garcia had a few bursts of aggression in the first half of the round and outlanded Rolly Romero. Perhaps both fighters heard effective regression and said, cool, I can do that. So in scoring effective aggression, I gave 9 points to Ryan Garcia, 8 to Rolly Romero, neither man deserving 10 points in this category in this round. Ring generalship. Although he barely landed anything clean, Rolly Romero controlled the action and tone. He created a situation where he was not doing anything aggressive and Ryan Garcia was looking and looking tensely and was only able to find a few openings to attack, and they were only somewhat effective anyway due to Rolly Romero's fast evasive defense. Rolly Romero wanted a calm, non-engaging round, and that's what happened. Ryan Garcia wanted to attack, but with very little acceptance of risk. And so that being said, ring generalship 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. In taking a look at defense, we see the same pattern again. A whole page tall worth of defensive maneuvers done by Ryan Garcia and a lot less defense done by Rolly Romero in this fight. And again, you can see all those moves on your screen here. Taking all the defensive categories together, the high guard block 10-7 in favor of Ryan Garcia, ducking 9-7 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 8-7 Rolly Romero, parrying 8-7 Ryan Garcia, blocking 10-8 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-9 Ryan Garcia, and 7 points to each man for clinching because neither man clinched. And if we take all 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm spits out 8.438 points for Rolly Romero and 9.186 points for Ryan Garcia, a 10-9 round for Ryan Garcia. And taking another look at the running score, I now have the fight 39-36 Rolly Romero. Judge Paolillo has it 38-37 Rolly Romero after giving that round to Ryan Garcia. Judge Waleska Roldan gave that round to Rolly Romero and has it 40-35 Rolly Romero. And Judge Tom Schreck gave that round to Ryan Garcia as I did, 10-9, and has the fight 37-38 in favor of Ryan Garcia. The now accumulated total punches landed 27 for Rolly Romero, 17 for Ryan Garcia. Round 5, a gargantuan 4 clean landed punches by Ryan Garcia to 2 for Rolly Romero, as you can see on your screen here. Not much more to say. And therefore, in scoring clean punching, 10-8 in favor of Ryan Garcia. Effective aggression. Neither fighter was aggressive all the way through the round, but Ryan Garcia was certainly the more consistent aggressor, moving around Rolly Romero and attacking occasionally when there might be openings. Rolly Romero continued with the pawing jab, looking to land low-risk punches all round and landing very little while maintaining very reactive defense. So in scoring effective aggression, 9 points to 8 in favor favor of Ryan Garcia. Ring generalship. Ryan Garcia was actively trying to find openings even though he didn't find that many. Rolly Romero was trying to lull everyone to sleep until he could land a low-risk punch, and more of the round fell into sleepy time than Ryan Garcia succeeding in his attack. So I would give ring generalship to Rolly Romero. Even though Ryan Garcia outlanded him by a gargantuan 4-2, I'm sure Ryan Garcia would have loved to land more, whereas Rolly Romero was happy with this slower pace. So in scoring ring generalship, 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. We once again take a look at defense, and we see the same pattern. Lots for Garcia, a decent amount for Romero, but less, and these are all the defensive moves done in this round. So if we take the different defensive categories, 10 points to 8 for the high guard in favor of Garcia, ducking 10-7 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 10-7 Rolly Romero, parrying 8 points to each fighter, blocking 10-8 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-8 Ryan Garcia, and 8 points to each man for clinching. And so when we take all 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm spits out 8.581 points for Rolly Romero and 9.214 points for Ryan Garcia, normalized to a 10-point must system, 10-9 Ryan Garcia. And as we have a look at the running score, once again I now have the fight 48-46 in favor of Rolly Romero. Judge Paolillo gave the round to Ryan Garcia as well and has it 47-47 a draw. Judge Waleska Roldan gave the round to Ryan Garcia and has it 49-45 Rolly Romero. Judge Tom Schreck also gave the round to Ryan Garcia 10-9 and has the fight 46-48 in favor of Ryan Garcia. The accumulated clean-landed punches now 29 for Rolly Romero, 21 for Ryan Garcia. Round 6. And it's interesting to see Coppinger's unofficial scorecard 48-46 in favor of Ryan Garcia at this point in the fight. Let's see how that materializes later on. Let's talk about clean punching, and again, not a lot to talk about. 3 punches landed cleanly by Ryan Garcia and 6 by Rolly Romero. Here they are in all their glory on the screen. And that being said, 10 points to 8 in favor of Rolly Romero for clean punching in round 6. Effective aggression. Both fighters were only aggressive in spurts, but Rolly Romero had consistently more spurts and moved cautiously forward for more of the round. Ryan Garcia had his aggressive spurts mostly in the first half of the round and moved around a lot for the second half. So that being said, 9 points to 8 in favor of Rolly Romero for effective aggression. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero took a long time to start landing his few punches, but he controlled the pace and tone with busy rangefinders and spurts of aggression, keeping Ryan Garcia away from him. Ryan Garcia had a visible point halfway through the round where he no longer was able to initiate his plan and was controlled by Rolly's plan. In scoring ring generalship, 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. Let's talk defense, and same pattern again. Some defense from Rolly Romero and a lot by Ryan Garcia. As you can see here, they are all detailed on your screen and when they happen. So if we take those in their respective categories, high guard block 10-7 in favor of Ryan Garcia, ducking 9-7 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 9-7 Rolly Romero, parrying 9-8 Ryan Garcia, blocking 10-7 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-9 Ryan Garcia, and clinching 9-8 for Rolly Romero. Taking the 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm spits out 9.390 points for Rolly Romero and 8.376 points for Ryan Garcia. Pretty big disparity. A definitive 10-9 round for Rolly Romero. Having another look at the running score, I now have the fight 58-55 in favor of Rolly Romero. Judge Paolillo has it 57-56 Rolly Romero after giving him the round. Judges Roldan and Tom Schreck also gave Rolly Romero that round, and Judge Roldan has it 59-54 Romero. Judge Tom Schreck has it 57-56 Ryan Garcia. And the accumulated punches now 35 for Rolly Romero to 24 for Ryan Garcia. Pretty paltry sum compared to some other fights that I've seen. Round 7. Clean punching. And now we see Ryan Garcia land 7 clean punches to Rolly Romero's 8. They're really picking up the pace here. So taking that into account, clean punching 10 points to 9 in favor of Rolly Romero in this round. Effective aggression. Both fighters were certainly more consistently aggressive than in previous rounds, but both also had substantial periods of time when they were being careful and not advancing. On average, an even round for effective aggression, which is why I gave both men 9 points. Ring generalship. Smooth and calm looking Rolly Romero mandated the slow methodical pace and tone, whereas the focused, almost anxious Ryan Garcia kept looking for ways past the pawing jab with minimal success. Rolly Romero wanted it slow, Ryan Garcia wanted it fast, and Rolly Romero got his way. Rolly Romero was also rubbing his right eye after the first time that Ryan Garcia actually landed a punch, and maybe that's why he got more aggressive for a few seconds near the end of the round. And so for ring generalship, I gave it 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. Taking a look at the defense, more of the same. Good defense from Romero, a lot more defense from Garcia, and if we take those into their various categories, the high guard block, 10-7 Ryan Garcia, ducking, 10-7 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving, 10-7 Rolly Romero, parrying, 9-7 Ryan Garcia, blocking, 10-9 Ryan Garcia, footwork, 10-9 Ryan Garcia, and clinching, 8 points to each fighter. Taking all 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm gives 9.448 points to Rolly Romero and 8.943 points to Ryan Garcia, 10-9 round for Rolly Romero. And as we have another look at the running score, I now have the fight 68-64 in favor of Rolly Romero. All 3 judges at ringside gave that round to Ryan Garcia somehow, and so Judge Paolillo has it 66-66 a draw, Judge Roldan has it 68-64 67-64 Romero, and Judge Tom Schreck has it 67-65 Ryan Garcia. Round 8, clean punching. Is punching a singular or a plural word? Because Rolly Romero only had 1 to Ryan Garcia's 4, and therefore I gave the clean punching score 10-7 in favor of Ryan Garcia. Effective aggression. Rolly Romero was more effectively aggressive in the first 30 seconds and in a spurt with around 30 seconds remaining. Other than that, both Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia were cautious in the middle of the round, perhaps tense, but not very aggressive. And therefore, for effective aggression, I gave it to Rolly Romero 9 points to 8. Ring generalship goes to Rolly Romero. He wanted a slow, smooth pace full of probing punches that weren't intended to land, and that's what happened for most of the round. Ryan Garcia, on the other hand, looked intense and focused on finding openings to land, which he was seldom able to do, even though he'd landed more. So I'm giving ring generalship to Rolly Romero 10-9. Defense is more the same. Ryan Garcia with even more defensive maneuvers, a lot of high guard blocking, and a lot of that is because Rolly Romero's throwing probing punches that aren't really intending to land and happen to land on the high guard block. Categorizing the defense, high guard blocking 10-8 Ryan Garcia, ducking 9-8 for Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 10-7 Rolly Romero, parrying 10-8 Ryan Garcia, blocking 10-7 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-8 Ryan Garcia, and clinching 8 points to both men. The algorithm gives 8.490 points to Rolly Romero and 9.033 points to Ryan Garcia, a 10-9 round for Ryan Garcia. And as we take a look at the running score again, Judge Paolillo at ringside gave that round also to Ryan Garcia and has it 76-75 Garcia, whereas I have it 77-74 Rolly Romero. Judge Roldan gave that round to Rolly Romero and has it 78-73 Rolly Romero. And Judge Tom Schreck also gave that round to Rolly Romero 10-9 and has it 76-75 in favor of Ryan Garcia. Round 9, clean punching. Rolly Romero goes into the double digits with 10 clean landed punches to Ryan Garcia's 2 in this round, and therefore that's a 10-7 round for clean punching in favor of Rolly Romero. Effective aggression. The effective aggression gap was big in this round in Rolly Romero's favor. He stood his ground or moved forward for much of the round with a few spurts of explosive forward movements, relegating Ryan Garcia to circling away for almost the full round. Ryan Garcia was mostly only aggressive in the clinch when he finally thought he had a safer open. And so effective aggression goes to Rolly Romero 10-8 in this round. Ring generalship. Ryan Garcia had a few punches come incredibly close to landing, but Rolly Romero's reflexes seem unbelievable, even in 25% slow motion. Rolly Romero controlled the action and tone, moving steadily forward with a few aggressive bursts to close distance quickly and land clean punches, but Ryan Garcia was left waiting for an opening because Rolly Romero was constantly changing his approach slightly. And so that being said, ring generalship goes to Rolly Romero 10 points to 8. More of the same with the defensive disparity, and you can see all of the defensive movements done by both fighters here. And as we categorize them, it'll be 10 points to 7 for the high guard for Ryan Garcia, ducking 9-8 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 10-8 Rolly Romero, parrying 8-7 Rolly Romero, blocking 10-7 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-7 Ryan Garcia, and clinching 9 points to 8 in favor of Rolly Romero. So when we take the 4 scoring categories together, a big disparity in this round, 9.629 points for Rolly Romero to 7.843 points for Ryan Garcia, a no-brainer 10-9 round for Rolly Romero. Let's see what the judges said. And yeah, they all got this one right. All 3 judges at ringside gave this round to Rolly Romero 10-9, so Judge Paolillo now has it 85-85 a draw, Judge Roldan has it 88-82 in favor of Rolly Romero, Judge Tom Schreck has it 85-85 a draw as well, and I have it closest to Judge Roldan. I have it 87-83. Round 10, clean punching. So 7 clean punches landed for Rolly Romero in this round to Ryan Garcia's 4. We're very rarely seeing double-digit clean punches landed in this fight by either guy, and so therefore 10 points to 9 for clean punches landed for Rolly Romero. Effective aggression. There were 2 Rolly Romero punches that might have landed around 42 seconds left, but the view was totally shielded by his body, so I couldn't tell, and I can't give credit for something I can't see clearly. Overall, maybe 4 aggressive bursts from Rolly Romero with a lot of careful stalking in between. Ryan Garcia only had aggressive single punches here and there, but Rolly Romero was more effective in making Ryan Garcia react to his occasional bursts of aggression. And that being said, effective aggression, I gave 9 points of aggressiveness and 10 effectiveness to Rolly Romero, 8 and 9 to Ryan Garcia. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero controlled the pace and tone shifts between aggressive bursts and careful forward movement. He was tagged minimally by Ryan Garcia, who was still defending well, but spending the whole round concentrating on looking for Rolly Romero to present him with an opening rather than forcing the action. And that being said, ring generalship goes 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. You can have another look at all of the defensive movements done by both guys here. Again, a lot more defense being done by Ryan Garcia, who's just not engaging as much. And if we categorize all those defensive movements, it's 10-7 Ryan Garcia for the high guard block, 8-7 ducking Romero, bobbing and weaving 9-8 for Rolly Romero, parrying 8-7 for Ryan Garcia, blocking 10-7 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-7 Ryan Garcia, and clinching 9-7 Rolly Romero. When we take all 4 scoring categories together, it's 9.409 points for Rolly Romero to 8.781 points for Ryan Garcia, 10-9 Rolly Romero. And if we take a look at the 3 judges at ringside, all 3 gave that round to Rolly Romero as well. I have the fight 97-92 Rolly Romero, Judge Paolillo has it 95-94 Rolly Romero, Judge Waleska Roldan has it 98-91 Rolly Romero, and Judge Tom Schreck has it 95 594, Rolly Romero. The total punches landed thus far in the fight, 61 for Rolly Romero to 41 for Ryan Garcia. Round 11, clean punching. We have in this round 5 punches landed by Rolly Romero to 3 landed for Ryan Garcia. Just an anemic fight compared to Eubank Jr. versus Ben, if you go watch my analysis of that one. And so I have to give clean punching 10-9 to Rolly Romero despite his tiny output because Ryan's was tinier. Effective aggression. Rolly Romero was either standing his ground or inching forward for the whole round, while Ryan Garcia was mostly moving back or circling away. Rolly Romero was also visibly more effective in his aggression when they were in close quarters. And so in scoring effective aggression, I gave 9 points of aggressiveness and 10 points of effectiveness to Rolly Romero, 8 points aggressiveness and 9 effectiveness to Ryan Garcia. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero controlled action and tone again in this round. Ryan Garcia was clearly moving defensively to stay away long enough to find an opening, not to lull Rolly Romero into a trap. Rolly Romero, on the other hand, was happy to inch along methodically, looking for an opportunity to unleash his quickness. And so that being said, ring generalship 10-9 in favor of Rolly Romero. As we take a look at all the defensive movements done by both men on the screen, you can see when they were done and what manner of defense they were outlined here. And we categorize them together into all the different defensive categories. 10-7 for the high guard blocking again for Ryan Garcia, who's doing a lot of that in this fight. Ducking 8-7 Rolly Romero. Popping and weaving 10-8 Rolly Romero. Parry 10-7 Ryan Garcia. Blocking 10-8 Ryan Garcia. Footwork 10-8 Ryan Garcia. And clinching 8-7 Rolly Romero. Taking all 4 scoring categories together, the algorithm spits out 9.467 points for Rolly Romero to 8.838 points for Ryan Garcia. On the 10-point must system, 10-9 Rolly Romero. Let's see what the 3 judges saw in that round. Well, yes, all 3 judges saw that round in favor of Rolly Romero as well. I have the fight 107-101. Judge Palillo has it 105-103 in favor of Romero. Judge Roldan has it Rolly Romero 108-100, a big gap there. And Judge Tom Schreck has it in favor of Rolly Romero 105-103. The accumulated punches landed now 66 for Rolly Romero to 44 for Ryan Garcia. The 12th and final round. So here we see Coppinger's unofficial scorecard once again, 107-101. So somehow he's caught up to what I have for the fight thus far, which is very interesting since he's unofficial and not one of the 3 official judges at ringside. Having a look at clean punches, we have 8 punches landed for Rolly Romero in the final round to 2. Yes, 2 for Ryan Garcia. Neither really turning it on, but Rolly doing as much as he needed to, in my opinion, win this round. 10-7 clean punching for Rolly Romero. Effective aggression. Rolly Romero was clearly the more effective aggressor, moving forward for the whole round with his lengthy jabs to the body as Ryan Garcia moved away and was stifled with a hard clinch the one time he looked like he was going to get a hard punch in. So that being said, effective aggression, 9 points for aggressiveness, 10 for effectiveness to Rolly Romero, 8 points in each category to Ryan Garcia. Ring generalship. Rolly Romero controlled both action and tone. He stifled Ryan Garcia's one potentially effective attack with a hard clinch and conversely fought out of Ryan Garcia's clinch easily. Rolly Romero established a forward-moving pace that let him land his handful of jabs to the body while keeping Ryan Garcia moving away. And therefore, ring generalship goes to Rolly Romero 10-8. I think it was a big gap in generalship difference in this last round. Defense, again, you see more of the same. Rolly Romero actually having more defensive maneuvers in this last round, but Ryan Garcia having his typical very many because he's spending most of the time staying away. So as we categorize them, high guard blocking 10-7 Ryan Garcia, ducking 9-7 Rolly Romero, bobbing and weaving 9-8 Rolly Romero, parry 8-7 Ryan Garcia, blocking 10-8 Ryan Garcia, footwork 10-7 Ryan Garcia, clinching 9-8 Ryan Garcia. And as we take all 4 scoring categories together, the last round ends up to have a big gap in favor of Rolly Romero, 9.438 to 7.871, not close in the last round. Ryan Garcia did not do much to close this out strong, so on the 10-point must system, 10-9 in the final round, round 12 for Rolly Romero. And now the time has come to reveal what you've all been wondering this whole video, and that is who really won Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero. You've seen the fight, you've seen the scorecards, you maybe fell asleep during part of that fight, but now you've seen all the detailed analysis that goes into really scoring a fight correctly, and we're going to reveal for you the winner of this fight was the winner who was chosen, Rolly Romero, and the correct score should have been 117 to 110. And let's take a look at that running score one more time to see how this compares to the 3 judges at ringside. So, all 3 judges at ringside, like me, gave the last round to Rolly Romero 10-9. Judge Paolillo ended up with a final score of 115-112. Judge Waleska Roldan ended up with 118-109. Judge Tom Schreck ended up with 115-112 like Judge Paolillo did. So the question is, did the judges get it right? Well, they got the right winner, but none of them got the right score. Judge Waleska Roldan came really damn close, though. And we end up with a final punch tally of an amazingly low 74 punches landed by Rolly Romero to 46 by Ryan Garcia. I know a lot of punches look like they're landing, but when you slow them way down, they don't. This is as close as I could get to the right number, given that I couldn't see every single viewing angle. And I have some interesting stats for you at the bottom as well. So the maximum number of punches landed by Rolly Romero in any round was 11. The maximum by Ryan Garcia was 7. Compare this to Chris Eubank versus Conor Benn, and it's an astounding difference in numbers. The average punches landed, 6 for Rolly Romero, 4 for Ryan Garcia. There's a decimal in there, I rounded, so around there. And then the minimum number of punches, Rolly Romero actually landed 1 punch in one of the rounds, and Ryan Garcia 2 in one of the rounds. So there's some great punch stats for you. Interestingly enough, when we compare this to the final punch stats presented during the telecast, they have Ryan Garcia landing more punches, 65 to 54. And as I've said, many punches, if you're watching them in real time, look like they land, but when you slow them way down later in super slow motion, are not landing. And I can promise you that even if I'm off by a few punch counts, Ryan Garcia did not land more punches than Rolly Romero. And so after all this detailed analysis, round by round, by the 4 scoring criteria that really matter in boxing matches, now you know who really won Ryan Garcia versus Rolly Romero.
If you agree or disagree, drop your scorecard in the comments. I read every one. Hit like if you respect real boxing breakdowns. Subscribe if you want to continue to find out the truth about who won boxing's most controversial decisions. If you like this level of analysis and you want to see it for another fight, or you even want to learn more about my scoring mechanism and how I weight different categories, click on the images at the top of your screen right here.